Hi, I'm Jessica. Let's talk about the 5 worst books I read in 2024. We're gonna start off strong with Morning Glory Milking Farm by C.M. Nascosta. I hated this book. I am not a fan of cozy fantasy. Now, while this book is smutty, it is smutty in all the wrong ways. And if you can imagine, Morning Glory Milking Farm is exactly what it's saying. I have a lot of questions, a lot of logistical things that aren't adding up for me. And I do 100% suspend disbelief when it comes to fantasy, but I just don't get it, especially as a business model. You know what I mean? As a business model, it doesn't make sense. Minotaurs themselves off. We don't need a middleman to do it for them. Even though there's sort of like fantastical elements to the story, it is quite boring. And really, it's all about the milking. Bound to the Shadow Prince by Ruby Dixon. This one hurts. It really hurts because I love Ruby Dixon, but this one did not hit for me. It is 750 pages worth of instant love. That's not what I want. That is not what I want from an enemies to lovers story. I don't know what you want. Tell me in the comments, but that's not what I want. So it is quite insta-lovey, and it is quite long after that. It's just slow. It's just slow. I will admit the last 20 to 15% of the book does pick up, and there's a whole story with it. It makes a lot of sense. I'm here to tell you, it is far too long, far too insta-lovey. It's boring. Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. I can't. It is another cozy fantasy filled with fantastical creatures like orcs and gnomes. You know, everything that you can think of surrounding D&D, but they don't do anything. In this one in particular, she starts a coffee shop. You know, in and of itself is not entirely bad. The antagonist is sort of this mafia-esque character that only really serves to move the plot forward so that we can get to the sapphic romance. And honestly, I don't need a white male's perspective on sapphic romance. I'm just here to say it. Just here to say it. I'm not interested. It wasn't good. I didn't feel tension. I didn't ship them. I didn't care. Credence by Penelope Douglas. I read it, so you didn't have to. On top of the taboo aspects of this, it's just not a good story. It's just not a good story. And I'm here to tell you, it is incest porn. It is incest porn. I don't know how many times people in my comments say, oh, but it's her step uncle. Listen, it doesn't matter because she calls him Uncle Jake throughout the entire story. I hated the cousins. I hated them. I hated the end of the story. It doesn't make any sense. Essentially, they're all sharing her. How are they going to be happy to give her up for one of the characters? It doesn't make sense. But I will say, Penelope Douglas is skilled at writing a smutty scene. Every time I read one of her books, and I've read more than one, unfortunately, they get you right where it's supposed to get you. But the story's trash. It's trash. The Honey Witch by Sidney Shields. I hated this book. I hated it. It's another cozy fantasy, so if you see a trend here. But this cozy fantasy, I want to say, had a lot of potential. I think the pacing is off. And by pacing, I mean, there are a lot of things that happen in this book. People die. There's violence. There's sort of like a war. None of this had an emotional impact on me because the pacing was off. There wasn't enough time. There was too much time. You know what I mean? The two characters that are supposed to be in love, I felt no chemistry from. I felt the main character had more chemistry with a one-off character in the beginning that has nothing to do with the story. They spent a good portion of the book building up this magic system surrounding honey, which is awesome. That is amazing. Basically to do with like honey and building potions and using all of these things. Those things are fun and cute and amazing, and I'm here for it. They didn't use it though. They used it in sort of like a village doctor might use it. People came and visited her for certain things and she gave them potions and off they went. In a moment when she could have actually used it when they're fighting against the big baddie, she doesn't even get a chance to use it. What a waste! I just feel like I was tripping over myself reading the whole thing. It was a bit like pulling teeth. I would have absolutely DNF'd this book, but it was a buddy read. Those were the 5 books I hated in 2024. So please like, comment, and subscribe. If you know of any cozy fantasies that might be up my alley, please let me know. I'm struggling hard. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!